Hello, everyone. How's it going? Matthew Wilson. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust my face here so it looks good in the bubble. Alrighty, so I am doing the reflection of Matthew Slapper Wilson, and kind of going to break down. Basically, the goal of this presentation is to break down my journey throughout the entrepreneurship department, through all the classes, how I got there, what made me get there, and that kind of stuff. Story a little crazy, little ups and downs and different stuff that goes on, but we're gonna have a great time. So this is the reflection of Matthew Slapper Wilson. Oh, there's that guy. There he is. There's the cute guy. Look at how much beard I did not have during that time. Man, that was, I think, 2017. That was right before I went to Ireland. So yeah, no, a lot more dapper and better looking back then. Let's go with that one. All right, so again, I'm Matthew Slapper Wilson, and this is gonna be my journey through the bowler, now college business. When I started, it was the School of Business and the entrepreneurship program. Nice, cool new logo that we got over there, as you can see, which I very much like. Gonna give it a breakdown. So let's get this bad boy started. So this is a quote that I found that actually was really kind of big for me. That I noted when I was going through. You're always trying to find that what connects with you, and for me, it was the worst enemy to creativity is self-doubt. It's something that is pushed upon us during the department. I know all the professors that I've had really push this point of you can do it even if you fail. There's still a way you can succeed through this. All entrepreneurs say that you fail and you get back up. It's about getting back up. Like Rocky says, how hard you get. It's not how hard to get hit. It's how hard to get back up. And being able to, if you have doubt about who you are and what you're doing, then you're never going to be able to succeed because you're always going to have that caution. So where did it all start? Let's create. I'm going to be a superhero for a minute. I'm going to create my origin story. I'm going to create how I got here and why I'm here. Like, why am I graduating with a minor in entrepreneurship? Never thought I was going to be honest. But let's get into this. So my journey all started because of one man. Really, journey through entrepreneurship. Let's raise that through why I actually got involved with the John Carroll program. I didn't really know about it before. I came for a visit, and I knew about it because of this man right here, Mark Hauserman. That's a nice little photo I found on his Facebook. So that puts it in perspective for you. For sure, that was an immersion week in before, and him relaxing. So this is Mark Hauserman. Bond, I know you know him, but basically, he's the one that got me in the entrepreneurship program. My dad knew him, and he said, "Hey, you got to talk to this guy. He's really good. He works at John Carroll. He knows a lot of people. He's also in the entrepreneurship program. I think you'd like it. That kind of stuff. Like, you got to talk to him." I said, "Okay, cool." So, kind of going to the next slide here. Basically, I when I first came to the school, when I was going on my college visits, I met Mark Hauserman. And he said, "Are you going to John Carroll?" And I said, I don't know. Like, I'm still looking. He goes, "Well, you are, and you're going to be doing the entrepreneurship minor." Sales pitch. It's a sales pitch right there for you. And so he basically committed to the program before he was in there. My dad told him that John Carroll was a school, and he said, "Oh, he's got to speak to me. He has to come." So that was that. And then he already signed me up. We're ready to go. And I ended up not coming to John Carroll then. I went to Adrian College, which was a switch. They didn't really have entrepreneurship, so I didn't even think about it. For the year I was there in 2015 and 2016, I was doing business and communications at Adrian, and as much as I enjoyed the experience I had, it wasn't me. So I switched back to John Carroll, and when I did that, the first guy I reached out to was Mark Hauserman, and he said, "Told you so, you're coming." Was pretty much what was said to me, and I wish I could forget that, but it's not. So obviously, before I even knew what I was doing, I knew that when I committed back to John Carroll, I already had one person I knew, which was really helpful, and it already made me feel involved. And he said, "You're going to enjoy this. I know you have the ability to." I said, "All right, thank you." So 1 year after I joined, he taught a class that was in ER 201, and then he left. I just call it as because I was a disaster is what I got out of all of it, even though he's assured me that's not it. But let's get into the real aspect of it now that we got that part out. So what classes did I end up taking? So obviously it's just the four main ones. I wanted to kind of put them in here because they all had something different that honestly makes made me think different about every single class that I took. So the first one was ER201. I named him differently. I know that's not the actual name. I call it Let's Get Creative. So the whole idea of that one is, which is what Mark was my professor, and Mark Hauserman, and it was all about how can you think different, maybe not outside the box, like maybe that aspect, but like how can you be innovative and how can you actually work with things. And even if you're a science person or if you're marketing or if you're management, math, sports administration, how can you think different about the things that you approach? If you're an accountant, how can you make your job and other people's jobs better and easier through different creative solutions that aren't being thought of? So I really enjoyed that one. It's really it made me think a lot. When I was so confused to being there in the first place, being able to take a class like this and not be stressed, and I had a lot of other stressful classes, not be stressed and kind of come in and be like, all right, let's just take a deep breath and figure things out. And that's what I loved. It got me really working with teams and engaging with people. And honestly, if the class wasn't taught well and good well, then you don't know if you're going to be in the program. So the next one's ER 301, which is What Are the Basics, which I had with Don Winkle, who actually took over from Mark Hauserman, who was amazing. And Joe really kind of gave a breakdown of how do you actually go about entrepreneurship and idea creation. So you have your business model canvas, and you have all your other resources, but how do you actually use them? Say you're 7 out of 10 steps through an idea and it's going great. Step 8, crap's the bed. People are like, no, this isn't going to work. What do you do? How do you fix that? How do you go back through and say, okay, we can actually rework this idea. Let's do it. Love this class. This class, I would say, is the one I use the most in other classes. I connect this with everything. Like, okay, how do we fix? How do we be different? How can we make ourselves better? I use this class and the concepts that were taught in this all the time. I'll get into some concepts a little bit more, but I really think this class has changed how I think about everything. Even in my internships that I've had with marketing agencies of Linear Creative, Owens Group, or volunteering I've done, or anything. I want to be able to help people the best way I can, and I think this class has really helped me through that. So the next one, ER 304, social innovating is what I called it. This was taught by Adam, and I'm forgetting his last name, but his class, a lot came out of it. This idea was basically the same thing as 301, except you're doing social. So it's basically how do you do a nonprofit? How do you help people? Which, crazy, but you do. So this one actually was I created an idea in this one, we'll get to this one later, that actually a lot has come from. And the idea of starting a business became real with this class. So yeah, I know there's a lot of things that change, but this class really makes you think like, okay, on the opposite. We're not trying to make money, we're trying to help people. Money wouldn't be bad, but it's a goal. ER 480. So I'm in right now with this Bonda guy. I don't know, he's fine. But he's there, and basically we're learning how to actually do an idea, create it, and it's different. I mean, obviously, I know everyone's probably saying this. We're going through different times because we're in Zoom University, so we're not being able to have that impact. We're not doing pitches. We're not doing the stuff that you would do in entrepreneurship. But I still think our class is strong, and we learned a lot from it. Okay, now I gave you the super, super intense pitch. I put some videos in here. Now, I don't know if it's gonna play for you. I'm gonna play the shorter one. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't, I'm very sorry. I will send you the presentation to watch it. From this class, so I spelled that wrong. Oops. So here's some examples of work. It's actually, oh no. It's fixed, man, miracle. So these are actually some examples of work that I created. My bug report back with Mark Hauserman, my first class, and then True to You Scar Cream, which I believe was like a mini project, DR301. It was like a mini because it was Doan's first class, so it was like a mini one that we worked on, and we created a video for it. So that one was really cool, and I have that one. So I'm going to maybe show that one. Well, it worked in my test. So I guess I'm not going to show that one, but I'm going to put those are both there, and they're both available to watch. And basically the whole idea of that one is just to show it's not just about pitching a product. It's about actually, making a model, being creative, doing a video to show it. Like that's what we did in True to You Scarcrim. We kind of showed like it actually being rubbed on. It's like helping people with their scholars and trying to make it less obvious and that kind of stuff. So that was really fun and actually got involved, and it was a good time. So I will again say that I'm sorry about the not playing. I was a little nervous about that. So what was created? Where did this minor take me? And we're kind of briefly took over everything because I know we talked a lot about other stuff. So these 5 ideas right here are all ideas that were created in my class or out of the class. And this is all stuff that came from entrepreneurship program. I wouldn't have done any of this without the program. So basically, I've created 5 days. Not that all of them are being pushed places, but there's 5 that are created. So Connection for You was created in ER 201. This was all about bringing. This is way back. I even looked at it. It's bringing basically connecting people who don't have jobs. It wasn't just homeless, but it was people who were unemployed. So it's big now, and being able to connect those people with jobs and other aspects, but in like a program of training, so that like they were still like working and trying to get better and helping themselves and that kind of stuff. So that was big on creating ER 201. Clear reason why I was at Star One. Then we go to we're going to True to You Scarcrim, which created ER 301, which I actually already mentioned. Scarcrim to help people cover up and basically be less noticeable, and kind of like make people make themselves feel better about themselves. And then Legacy Liaisons was created Immersion Week, which I already mentioned from the Mark Hauserman photo, which is a week of pain and a pain of hell is like what I like to refer to it as. But a lot comes out of it. Don't go. You get good friends, great bonding with the professors. You order cookies at 3 a.m. or they don't deliver it and think you're drug dealers. That also happens. You're up pitching. Like basically, you wake up at 8 a.m. and go to bed at 4 a.m. every day, and you walk through the streets of Cleveland at midnight because you just can't think, and you want to like strangle some of your teammates. It happens, but we got over it. We came up with the idea and came in 3rd place and won money. So Legacy Liaisons, our whole thing was, why create a business when you can continue a legacy? So the whole idea of this was, how do we people who are selling their business and their families don't want it, how do we basically create like almost like a mingle.com, match.com, and basically create a program where we can link businesses with people who want to own businesses. So that was the whole idea of this. We came 3rd out of 12 other schools, I believe. Immersion Week, great fun time. I'm still kind of pursuing this idea, looking a little into it and the ideas. This one goes around. It's a little tough to work with, but that's the whole idea of it. Then we're going to go to A Reduction, which created in ER 304 with Brooke Bager. She was there. And it's created with some other people, but her and I were the ones that kind of the big people around this one. And we placed 3rd out of 60 teams in Area Hack. We won $10,000 for our project, and it was created in class. We started with a phosphorus system to clean, or a thing to clean phosphorus out of Lake Erie. And we created this whole idea that now cleans out of farms. Basically takes the phosphorus that goes into the farms, goes into the channels, sucks it up, cleans it, gets rid of it. So, and then we sell it back to farmers, and it's a recurring cycle, but less phosphorus goes in. This idea was awesome, and actually this idea we're still pursuing with COVID, a little stalled, but still going through this one, actually. So then the last one, I felt them out. Now, we've already heard this one. Basically, it's to get rid of salt. During the winter, we use it, so it's like, excuse me. It's a product that basically is a fertilizer that is a ground up plant. You can use it to melt salt, gives more traction, better for the environment, and everything like that. Created during Zoom University in ER 480. So I'm going to show these photos. These are just 2 of the competitions. You see same team, but this is the air reduction one. See, we won 2 checks there, just pitching this idea that we were approached by this guy and that we knew of, and he said, hey, you need to pitch this. We did it, and we came in 3rd place. And we were against people who were scientists and people who were engineers and people who knew what they were doing, and we were college business students. That's Gus. He was an engineer who graduated John Kerr about 2 years ago, but still, it was a stressful time, but we felt great about it. So where to go, what to do, how to do. Yes, I realize it's a little weird, but what's next? The goal is to find a job, of course, everything going on, who knows? But I think the way ER and all the classes prepared me, they made me think way different than I would have ever have thought. I actually want to own my own business one day, but I think whatever I go into, I want creativity. If a business isn't innovative and creative, I don't really want to be there, because if you don't innovate, you won't continue to be the best, or you won't continue to be better. And I want to go in a job in media, film, sports, in that area. But again, it's something where the creativity has to be there, because I want to be able to express myself in the way I do things. Because of the classes I've taken through entrepreneurship, marketing and communications, great department at Jeff Carroll, and they teach you a lot, and skills and information, and how to work about things. But entrepreneurship actually teaches you a mindset of how to actually work, and that's why I want to, like, through all my reflections, that's why it's so important to me. Thank you. If you have any questions, please keep in contact with me. mswilson2423@gmail.com. If you want to know, ask it. I'd love to stay in contact with everyone. If there's anything I can ever do, please let me know. Thank you again for everything you've done, and all the professors have done. You have done more than enough, and I really appreciate you taking all the time to help with ideas and working through Immersion Week and pushing us, even though we pushed back. That's the biggest thing. We could be not nice people and say things and agree, disagree, and be angry because we know everything. And you're like, no, you're not. You don't. And it would help. So I really appreciate that. Thank you again. Sorry I blabbered. And thank you. This is my reflection. Have a great day.